What's up? In this video, I'm going to be giving you the #1 piece of advice for aspiring filmmakers. Whether you want to start making short films, comedy skits, feature-length films, whatever it is, this is the #1 thing that you shouldn't do if you want to be a filmmaker. Let's get into it. So this YouTube channel has given me a really cool opportunity to meet and talk with a lot of aspiring filmmakers, ones that want to make short films or comedy skits or start a YouTube channel, etc. But I wanted to just make a quick video about the #1 thing that you shouldn't do when you want to be a filmmaker. So I gotta tell you a story in order to do that. So here we go. Follow me here. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to make videos. But the honest reality is that I didn't have the gear to do it. I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a job, so it's not like I could go buy either of those things. And this was before like iPads and iPhones and iPods were even around with cameras. I realize as I say that I might be dating myself. I'm only 25. So they were around, I just didn't have one. It wasn't that popular yet. Moving on. So as I grew up, I sought out like other ways to create. One way was I would make slideshow presentations with my friends, and we would like put all these graphics in and like pretend they were movies or whatever. And there was even a point in high school where I really thought I was gonna be an author. Like I had all these ideas for books that I was gonna write, which maybe one day, we'll see. But when I was 18, I was truly inspired again to start creating, and I wanted to make comedy skits. I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to write comedy skits, and I wanted to just be kind of a comedian. And I had plenty of ideas. I had a ton of ideas, and honestly they were pretty funny ideas too. But the reality is that I also had plenty of excuses. I didn't have the right gear. I didn't have a crew of people to help me make these. I thought other people would think it's weird or wouldn't think they were funny. So I did the one thing that you shouldn't do. I waited. I waited to start making the videos that I wanted to make. I waited to start making the comedy skits that I wanted to make. And I used those excuses to tell myself that I should wait. I should wait till I have the right gear. I should wait till I have a full crew of people to help me make it. But finally, I just knew like I had to start right then and there. So I think I saved probably like $50 from working at a grocery store, and I went out and I bought a really cheap camcorder, and I just started making these comedy skits with literally any one of my friends that was around that was able to just hold the camera and point it at me while I tried to be funny. And then I made my first skit. It was called Officer Bob, the Undercover Story. It was just this comedy skit about like this awkwardly comedic police officer who just really wasn't good at his job. And honestly, it was funny. Well, people tell me it was funny. So here's what I had to look at though. Was the video really high quality? No. Was it as funny as it could have been? No. Could it have been way better if I had people around to properly light it, properly do the audio, properly pick the shots and the angles? Yeah, probably. But honestly, those 3 things didn't matter because I had officially taken my first step in becoming a storyteller. And from there, I kept making more skits. And with each video, I got better. I learned new skills. I learned how to edit differently. I learned more about soundtrack music. I learned more about angles. I learned more about audio. I started to learn what worked for my stories and what didn't, what was funny and what wasn't. And as I went, my desire to keep telling stories just continued. And all because I decided not to wait anymore and just made that skit. It led me down a path of going to school, studying filmmaking, making short films, being accepted to film festivals, going to some of the biggest film festivals in the world, being accepted to some of the biggest film festivals in the world, winning film festivals, having films that I've been a part of end up on streaming platforms, having one of my own films end up on a streaming platform. And now I work as a full-time filmmaker. And I say none of this to boast, really. I really don't say any of this to boast. This is something that God has absolutely blessed me with. He's blessed me with these opportunities and these achievements. So here is the official writing. Here's like the phrase of the number one piece of advice I can give you as a filmmaker. And you know, I'm sure there are other people who might disagree with me. I'm sure there are people who have other things that you should think about if you want to be a filmmaker. But here's my number one thing for you. The only way that you can start being a filmmaker is by starting right now by using whatever you have. Because honestly, you could have all the best gear in the world, but if you can't tell a good story, you're not going to be a filmmaker. You're not going to be a successful filmmaker. And the only way you're going to get good at telling stories is by telling stories. So don't wait until you can finally get that brand new camera, the best camera, or that brand new phone, or waiting for the right person to come along to help you out. You gotta learn to tell a story. And like I said, the only way you're gonna learn to tell stories is by telling them. And one thing I wanna be clear about is that I'm not saying that gear doesn't matter. Because it does, to an extent it does, but gear is a tool. Gear is a tool to help you tell better stories. Because like I said, if you have all the best gear, it doesn't matter if you can't tell a story. And I've seen some amazing films and shorts and skits that have been made with an iPhone. There's a reason why some film festivals now are having like a mobile film category, because it's doable and most people now have access to cell phones. And what made all the mobile phone films work was they had a good story. So a bonus tip is when you start a project, finish it. Every time, finish it. It doesn't matter if you hate it, finish the project, because every single time you work on a project, you put it together, you're gonna learn new skills. You're gonna learn what worked, you're gonna learn what didn't, and you're gonna take the things that worked, you're gonna forget about the things that didn't, and you're gonna learn from them. You're gonna chew the meat and spit out the fat. You know, you're gonna take what you learned each time, each new skill, and you're gonna apply it to the next thing. And then that film gets better, that short gets better, that skit gets better. And then you do the same thing, rinse and repeat. And now you're on the path to becoming an amazing storyteller. So if you want to be a filmmaker, don't wait. Start telling stories now. So that's it, guys. My name's Nate Killian. On this channel, I make a lot of short films. I make skits. I do a lot of tutorials about short films and skits, and then I drop the occasional vlog. So if you like this video, give it a like, and if any of those things interest you, would love for you to subscribe to the channel, because that would be pretty dope. So thanks again, keep telling stories, and I'll see you in the next video.